I'm Antoinette. I'm from Miami. I've been in Orlando for 10 years. I'm coming from a real estate investor's background, so I know nothing about medical. This home was an Airbnb. That's what my investment strategy was, but with all the regulations changing in the city of Orlando and looking for another use for the property, the residential assisted living / group home space was the next best opportunity that I could see for the use of the property. So I started exploring more and learning about the group home space, and it started penciling it out. Like, it started to make more and more sense the more I went down that road. Having grown up in a home where my mom was a foster parent, I was used to like state agency or just what the environment is like with special needs kids. But I had never, like, you know, that's in high school. My mom is doing that. I never thought I would end up in the space, but I guess all things figure out how to come full circle when they're ready. So this was the office 15 minutes ago. But 20 minutes ago, we got a phone call saying that the patient bed was coming. So we had to dismantle an office, tear down this bed, relocate it back here to make room for the medical bed that's getting on us right now. No heads up, we just got to move that fast. So in 12 minutes, we've completely turned 2 rooms. I mean, if y'all could just like give 24-hour notice.
I understand.
Versus 12 minutes.
I'll make sure from now on, if I ever have to come back.
Because this was a closed group home. We were not open yet, so no one would have been here. So now this is a 1-bedroom apartment for a live-in nurse. Living room and private bedroom. Instead of office. So, yeah. And we did this in 20 minutes. You saw that back room. That whole back downstairs is now a 1-bedroom apartment. That was the change we did while you came back when you bought that hospital bed. That's her house now.
Oh, I haven't even seen it.
Oh, look at your house.
Look at this. Yeah, I'm just gonna live here. I'm gonna live here and take care of this patient until we get more staff and they start covering more of my shifts. I'm gonna be here 24/7.
And who covers you? So like, while you sleep?
Oh, what sleep? What's sleep? No, I mean,
Don't be asking hard questions that we can't have on camera not here.
I'm like sleep. Sleep? What you mean?
So my name is Alison. I'm an RN. Overall background is I grew up, born and raised in Indianapolis, Indiana. I moved here right out of college. Actually, no, I moved to Miami right out of college. And I was working at UM. I had my bachelor's degree at that time in exercise physiology. I worked there for a little while. I moved on to working for a early childhood intervention center for kids that were born addicted to drugs, moms that were doing drugs while they were pregnant. During that time, that was kind of a turning point for me. I really loved what I was doing, but it just wasn't what I loved to do. Like, it just didn't feel like that's where I needed to be. And nursing was something that was kind of like always that kind of thing that was like right here, like, you should be nursing. Aren't you nursing? Why haven't you gone to nursing school yet? So finally, I didn't really talk myself out of nursing. I didn't think I was going to be good enough, smart enough. I didn't think there was any kind of way I could do that. So finally, when it came time to make that decision, I decided to go to nursing school. So that's what I did in Miami. I went to nursing school, and I went straight into the ER after that because I knew that's where I wanted to be. So my whole nursing career has been ER and trauma. It's weird because it's like I love the ER. Like, I love it so much. I can't imagine ever leaving the ER. But after COVID, I knew it wasn't something that I could do all the time. Like, it's not something I can do as my primary source of income, because the mental toll and the physical toll has been it's been a little overwhelming.
Hi, my name is Eva. I'm a cousin of Antoinette. I have a medical background since high school, graduated with a CNA, care of my loved ones, and so on. I'm a mother of 2, and I got a phone call one day from Antoinette randomly, was like, oh, I have an idea. And I'm like, okay, Antoinette, what's the idea? She was like, you should move here. I'm thinking about opening up a group home, et cetera, et cetera. So I was like, okay, Antoinette, no problem. Then I never got back with her. We kept stalling. And until one day I'm like, okay, let me give her a call back. Gave her a call back, came and did a tour. And then I was like, okay, I think I'm ready to make this move. And eventually or not, I'm here. It's been a year. Me and my 2 kids moved. And it's been great, like, ever since.
Everything just kind of fell in place at once. So Antoinette came to us, and this is, of course, after she's been doing these Airbnbs, running these Airbnbs. She's made tons of money. She came to me with this idea. I was like, okay, I hear you. And whenever these types of patients would come into the ER, they looked terrible. Like they were neglected and disgusting and just not taken care of. And it was just heartbreaking. So that's what really pulled me into this. Once she brought that idea to me, and, for me to be her nurse, of course, the part of the conversation was, you can be financially free in a short amount of time. But another large part was I can be a part of something where, I'm helping to provide care for these types of patients that really need it. And so that's just one. For every patient that we take on, that's one less patient that's going to get neglected or that's going to get treated terribly. And then when they get sick, they go to the ER, and everybody at the ER goes, oh, that patient's from such and such nursing home. We know all about them. I want to be different from that.
Having a non-medical background and deciding to open a residential nursing facility is like not the brightest idea, but I didn't say I always have good ideas. So in doing this, I knew that I was gonna need a team that brought to the table the skills that I didn't have. Like, I can do the business all day, I can get through the application, do all that administrative work, but when it comes to care, it's completely out of my realm of skill or talent. Like, I'm not the most people-y person. So I needed to find people that had a love for people and a love for care. My cousin, she had always been involved in, like, as a CNA, she went through a program in high school. So just her entire adult life has been care for people. So she was one of the first people I called. Like, I've always tried to convince her to move where I lived anyway, so this was just another excuse to try to poach her again. And it just so happened that it was now something where she could connect to it or see the benefit in it. Then she's a CNA though, and in school for RN. So in the meantime, we still needed somebody that had that RN experience to be able to train our staff, for us to meet the compliance requirements for having the license to do a residential nursing facility. And when I've known Alison for like at least 10 years through her husband, just visits here and there when I would be in Miami. We got along fine. And when I mentioned to her husband that I was opening this home, I didn't even remember, like, throughout the majority of this process. I was probably a year in before I remembered that she was a nurse. So when I brought it to them, we talked about it one day, and she talked about, like, just the difference between what the patients would look like coming into her hospital if they had been in certain types of homes, and how, like, just the passion behind hating seeing the poor care of people and wanting to be the difference maker in that. Like, that resonated with me. I wanted people who cared about people, and it wouldn't just be about a job or a business, because that's the angle that I'm coming from. Like, I have the business part, but I needed the care. And in talking to both of them about it and learning about, like, their career history and why they chose the field that they were in, they brought that care component that I didn't have.
What was your first initial thought when she came to you with the idea? Like, what What was the hesitation for you?
It was a shocking because she doesn't really like deal with medical. So I'm like, is she for real or not? You know, because she doesn't have any medical background. She's into, you know, business marketing and, you know, purchasing homes and stuff like that. So then that's what made me hesitate a little bit.
Well, from that hesitation, what were some of the things that made you feel a little bit confident that she maybe could pull this off, or like?
So once I came and visit, did a tour. So she showed me, she was like, hey, this is where you'll be staying. This is my game plan. This is the idea. So I'm like, okay, seeing the building and everything, you know, and her game plan, I'm like, okay, let me go ahead and take this try. And that's what made me pack up and leave.
One thing that we did, she had been networking with another young lady who already a nurse, see just the possibility of what this can really be. And that just locked me all the way in. Because again, I saw her patients and seeing how they were so well taken care of. No skin breakdown, no smell when you walk in the house, no nasty toenails curling over. I mean, it was just, they were so well taken care of. And I said, no, I need to be here. This is where I need to be. This is what I need to be a part of right here. So.
What do you hope the outcome of this venture will be?
Like the family business will grow, and this won't be just the only home. Like it'll be multiple group homes, you know, expansion, you know, happiness, peace.
Like that's how I want us to be known, as, you know, the higher end, the clean and well, you know, highly skilled staff. You know, you're not going to come in and find, you know, patients with bed sores and being neglected. You're going to come in and find a very nice, like a higher end and almost luxury experience for these patients. Because I mean, why not? Just because they're bedbound and just because they don't respond the way you and I do doesn't mean they don't deserve it. Much faith as I'm putting into her to like stick to her word and follow through and make sure that I get paid and that everything that I'm putting in gets me something. She's putting a lot of faith in me, because if I and something happens to that patient, we all going down. So it's like we're very equally, you know, invested in this one way or another.
His objectives could be the wheelchair, communication with family, like all of he can have up to 4 objectives. So now we have to say, in his words, his definition of the support plan.
What? Oh, he make noise when he want to get in his wheelchair.
Yeah, so I have to put a sentence that's him saying it now. What we just put in as the support plan line, we now have to say it in a way that he would say it.
I make noise to get attention, to seek medical attention. So what the hell am I saying?
I'm trying to keep it under control, y'all.
And figure it out.
I'm like everybody.
Are y'all good with the support plan? Do I need to add anything else with this overall goal?